This content is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Hey guys, what is up? Justin Jennings from Jennings Performance Coaching back again. Today we are talking about, should you be doing cardio in a muscle gain phase? So you're bulking, trying to get huge. Should you be doing cardio? Does cardio help you build muscle? Is cardio going to kill your gains? Well, today we're going to find out. But first, some business stuff. So as you guys know, I've been working with a company called Titan Nutrition. Great supplement. The thing about all of their supplements, they're very clinically dosed. So you don't have to worry about things like, they're just putting it in there so they can say they have it, like a lot of supplement companies do. Everything that Titan puts out has an evidence-based dose behind it. So I love their sleep supplement, their CreX pre-workout. I love it as well. It's a full formulation. They have their holiday special protein powders out. So they have peppermint bark protein powder and apple pie flavored protein powder over there. I've tried both of those and they're both excellent. So go ahead, click the link down in the description. Go over, check out what they have to offer. Make sure to use my code TitanJPC. It will give you 20% off. And right now they're running a promo that any supplement order also gets a free tub of creatine. So go over there, take advantage of that. Also, if you're wondering, why does Justin put out all this content? It is because a passion of mine is education. And because a passion of mine is education and another passion of mine is physique sport, I've decided to combine both of those things, and I am a physique coach. So if you like the type of content I put out and I seem like somebody that you might want to work with in the future, there's a link to my WhatsApp down below. Go ahead and give me a shout. We can talk about possibly working together. So now that that's out of the way, should you be doing your cardio during your muscle gain phases? So you're trying to lose fat, whether you're in a prep or just doing a fat loss diet, whatever. Everybody's doing cardio. We all know that cardio helps burn fat. We should be doing that. But whenever a lot of guys get into their improvement phases, off-season phase, bulking phase, whatever you want to call it, they want to quit doing their cardio. Why is that? There's a few reasons. Sometimes people are just lazy and don't want to do cardio. That is me. I don't particularly like doing it. I don't particularly find it enjoyable, but I go and do it anyways, and I'll tell you guys why here in a minute. But sometimes people are lazy and don't want to do their cardio. That's fine. These people will normally say things like, just step count is enough, or that cardio kills their gains, it'll shrink your leg size, interference effect from leg training and cardio, you won't build muscle in your legs, things like that. These people are wrong. There are some people that actually believe that stuff, though, that they're worried about burning calories in cardio and having to increase their food volume to gain the same amount of muscle, or they're actually worried about the interference effect. These people are also wrong, but let me tell you why you should be doing your cardio during your off season. So, when you're looking to gain muscle, there's normally one of two things will put a cap on your muscle gain phase. Thing number one is that you gain too much body fat. So as you're gaining muscle, you're going to gain a little bit of body fat. That's just how it works. But whenever you get too much body fat, your nutrient partitioning gets worse. Your leverages in the gym get worse. Your pumps are worse. Everything's worse whenever you're too fat, and you can't, reliably build a good amount of muscle anymore. So then you have to fat loss diet before you can continue to gain. So cardio can help with that. Of course, cardio burns calories, but that's not really what we're interested in here. Cardio also upregulates or increases insulin sensitivity. So you do your cardio, you go eat your meals after that, your insulin sensitivity for the rest of the day is going to be upregulated. What this means is you will have increased nutrient or improved nutrient partitioning. So when you start to get insulin resistant in our population, we don't really have to worry about the fat cells becoming insulin resistant, because by the time that happens, we're not still trying to bulk. At least I hope that you haven't got so insulin, because skeletal muscle will get insulin resistant first, and then visceral fat gets insulin resistant, and then subcutaneous fat. In extreme obese diabetic populations, this is what we see. In our population, whenever your skeletal muscle starts to get insulin resistant, this is going to be the point that you can no longer gain muscle, because it's resistant to insulin, and insulin's what shuttles those carbs and those nutrients, carbs and amino acids, into the muscle to refill glycogen stores and build new protein structures. So cardio directly increases insulin sensitivity, keep you gaining for longer, and staying insulin sensitive is a good thing overall. The more insulin sensitive you are, the better your health will be, pretty much across the board. So we're really looking for that effect from cardio. The second thing that normally cuts guys short in their gaining phase is their blood work starts to suck. So what do I mean when I say their blood work starts to suck? Especially if these guys are enhanced, they will see this stuff a lot faster if they're not keeping an eye on it. So on your blood work, some health markers like your fasting glucose, fasting insulin, HbA1c, those things will start to creep up. Why? Because you're getting insulin resistant. And then your LDL and your ApoB are going to start creeping up just because of the excessive fat gain. Your LDL is going to start going down. This will always happen in a surplus. Anybody that's gaining weight, especially if you're larger than what you should be, like most of us that are interested in either competitive bodybuilding or just pseudo, lifestyle bodybuilding stuff. Most of our goal is to be heavier than what our body wants us to. Hopefully that's with muscle mass and not fat mass though. But as you start to gain fat, your lipids are going to get worse. Your HDL is going to be going down. Your ApoB and LDL are going to be rising a little bit. And then, of course, your resting heart rate and blood pressure are going to start to increase a little bit. That is going to affect your work capacity in the gym. So you won't, go to a set of 15 on the leg press when you're at the end of a contest prep or the end of a fat loss diet, and tell me how long you need to rest before your second set of 12 to 15, versus at the end of a muscle gain diet when you're got a little bit of extra body fat on you. That set of 12 to 15 is going to gas you out for a lot longer than it will if you're leaner and smaller. So we need our cardio to improve our metabolic health. So your glucose, your fasting insulin, all of your blood markers. And then we also want it to improve our work capacity in the gym, so we're not getting gassed out, and this high rep leg training doesn't just absolutely take you out. Because especially if you're a bigger and stronger individual, if you're having to put 6, 7, 8 plates per side on the leg press to do sets of 5 to 10, that might be a little bit more risk of injury than what you're looking for. So you might drop down to 4 or 5 plates and do sets of 15 to 20. But you can't do that if you're so fat and so out of shape. your cardio so bad that you can't recover between sets. So we need to keep a handle on that. I already talked about the insulin sensitivity benefits. Whenever your body's more insulin sensitive, it is easier for those carbs and amino acids that you're getting from your meals to move into the muscle cells. This is going to build more muscle. Less of that is going to go to fat. Less of that is going to be oxidized. So you're going to be able to get more out of the food that you're eating. But the question here that you get sometimes is, what type of cardio should you be doing? So should you be doing LISS, miss, hit cardio? Yes, is kind of my answer here, my personal opinion. If somebody was going to be doing two sessions of cardio a week in their gaining phase, I would like for one set to be steady state cardio and then one set to be hit training. And it doesn't need to be, doesn't need to be absolutely all out, just kill yourself type of cardio. But the steady state cardio, I normally tell my guys that we're going to do 30 minutes between 120 to 140 beats per minute there. So it's zone 2, I believe, is what that is. And the hit cardio, we're going to do 8 to 12 minutes of interval training, and that's going to be good there. So your hit training is going to give you a little bit better adaptations as far as the cardiometabolic side. That's going to translate to your weight training a little bit better than your steady state cardio will. Your steady state cardio is going to be a little bit better at improving nutrient partitioning and insulin sensitivity. So we want to have both of those in there. Steady state to help with our glucose disposal and keep us nice and insulin sensitive, keep us from getting too fat. And then our hit cardio is going to let us recover faster between sets in the gym, and that's going to keep our blood pressure, our heart rate, all of that looking better, and our blood panel, of course, looking better. So just a quick recap: what normally ends your gaining phases? Either you get too fat, and this, you can't reliably gain muscle the way you could at the beginning of the gaining phase anymore, or your cardio gets so bad that you can't recover, or you get too fat and your leverages are bad in the gym. You can't even get to the bottom of the squat because your belly's in the way, or your blood work starts looking a little less than ideal. And especially if you're an enhanced individual, you want to keep an eye on this and pull back, take a health phase, diet some fat off, get your blood work looking right again, and then it's time to start gaining again. So that is what normally ends our gaining phase. What can extend your gaining phase? Of course, there's better food choices that we can make, not as much ultra processed, super tasty food, choosing a smaller deficit so that we're not gaining as much body fat. There's some studies on this that we're going to go over in another video that I have planned for you guys. But a longer gaining phase is going to be a more productive gaining phase, given that you're not getting overly fat and you're still gaining muscle the entire time. If you can gain for 26 weeks as opposed to for 13 weeks at the same rate by adding cardio, more area under the curve means more muscle going on, and that is going to improve your look over time. So takeaway from this, guys, is don't worry about the cardio killing your gains during the off season. There is an interference effect for sure. I wouldn't do cardio immediately before or after a leg day, but put it 48 hours from your leg day and you will be good to go there. It's not something that I would worry about. Even 24 hours, if it's going to be something like low impact, steady state cardio. If you want to do that the day before, the day after leg training, there's absolutely no issue there. And as far as the food volume stuff, a lot of guys are worried that cardio is going to burn too many calories and then they're going to have to eat that many calories, to make up for it and still be gaining. This is going to make gaining more difficult because they have to force more food down. If you've ever tried to lose fat by just implementing cardio and not changing your diet at all, you understand exactly how few calories cardio burns. So a really hard session on, an assault bike or an elliptical or something like that for a half hour, you may burn 300 calories. Those a week, 600 calories, like you'll be fine. And so don't be lazy. Don't skip your cardio. Stay healthy. Do your cardio, do your blood work, take your supplements. Like I said, guys, I'm Justin Jennings with Jennings Performance Coaching. All of my links are down in the description. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. This is going to be a part of a series on how to kind of optimize your gaining phases, things that a lot of people do or don't do that can set you back in your gaining phase. So want you guys to get the most out of these phases. I want to get the most out of these phases. And so that's what we're doing here. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.